Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video and give you uh, my thoughts. Like, here's what I think about the Traxxas LaTrax Rally RC car. This little car, and I say little because it's a 1/18th scale car. It's pretty small comparative to the other standard 110 scale. There's a ton of videos on there on YouTube about this car, which is, if you want to know what it has, what it comes with, it's pretty much the car, your standard Traxxas radio with the steering trim only. It's a pretty cool radio. It's actually pretty good. Got a good grip. I can hold it with no problem. My son, he's 9. He can hold it with no problem. It's got a pretty good foam grip and quick spring response. It's pretty basic. Comes in this box. For the most part, they come with a cover over the box, so it's kind of like if you go into the shop and you pick this up, there's 4 different colors, and you're not supposed to know which color's in there. It's supposed to be a mystery. Ooh, surprise. But some companies or some stores are actually marking like what color's in there. So I kind of knew. I actually ordered this on the internet on eBay, and I knew I was getting a blue one. My son likes blue, so it was a perfect excuse to get into one of these little cars. This is actually, ironically, one of my steps back into RC hobbying. I had taken a break from it for a while. I have some vintage cars from Tamiya and Associated, but they had gotten damaged a bit in storage, so I kind of took a break, but I saw this little car. Actually, I saw some guys in Canada, Scale RC Garage, I think it's called. They did some basement racing. So this guy set up a track in his basement. Nothing big. Actually, it's really small. But they were using 110 minis, like Tamiya MO3s, MO4s, and just racing those. And they had some Associated Apex minis. And I have one of those as well. I'll do a video on that. But it inspired me to kind of get into the smaller scale because, you don't have a lot of space. These little cars are excellent. I mean, this is a quick little car. I don't know if it says on here how fast it goes. Maybe 20 miles, maybe not even 20. Maybe like 18, 20 miles an hour. I don't know. Supposedly though they're LiPo ready. I don't think they are. Only because out of the box, you'd have to do some work before it's LiPo ready, as far as I'm concerned. The car comes with bushings all the way through, so that's definitely a thing you need to do, which I did on this one. I actually bought the bearings kit, went through and did all the differentials, everything that needed a bearing. I put a bearing in, just because it makes it run smoother, air go faster, a little faster, mostly smoother, less wear and tear on all the parts, especially the gears. This is not a full metal gear differential, so like I said, I mean, LiPo, I don't know. I guess you could, but you're taking the risk, right? Because they're really, they're not that great for it. I mean, anything can be ran a LiPo through. We have tons of airsoft guns we run LiPos through, but a lot of times we blow through gears, like nobody's business. Now, the newer guns are more designed for that, just like some of the newer cars. They come, stock ready for that. But this guy, I think you do a little work, and it should be good. I really like that they did these printed shells. It's pretty cool. They get scratched up, whatever. It's not that bad. I think this shell, if I am not mistaken, I've gotten replacement shells, which I'll show you in a second. I've actually gotten different shells for like maybe 10 bucks shipped on eBay. That was like super cheap. It also comes with different sets of wheels you could get for it. These are the chrome blue. Like I said, my son's a big fan of blue, so we got him the chrome blue ones. It kind of goes with the shell that we painted up for him. Also, I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but there is a disc brake in there that we picked up. Little aluminum ring. It's got an orange ring around it. Very cool. He likes orange and blue. So we got that. I also bought the aluminum shocks, the oil-filled shocks, because the ones that came on the car, they're just in the stem, like there's just, it was all hollow plastic cut out. So like I took it out back to test drive it, went over, you know, the concrete slabs have the cuts in them, you know, for where they lay the slabs. Went over the slab, snapped one of them, and it wasn't going super fast. It was just, you know, I don't know if it was because it was a little colder out or what, but whatever, it snapped. It didn't really cause a lot of like malfunctioning. I mean, the wheel, you know, was depressed a bit, but you know, I replaced it right away. And I knew, I watched reviews and stuff. I knew that that was a thing. I knew that was gonna be a thing. But had it happen right away, I was kind of like, man, that was pretty quick. But I replaced the shocks with oil-filled shocks. And there's a ton of upgrades you could do to these cars. You can get turnbuckles instead of those little braces there. You know, you can get carbon fiber chassis, carbon fiber top deck, you know, carbon fiber shock towers. There's so much stuff you can get for these little cars, but you know, it's a Traxxas inherently, so you know, there's a lot of aftermarket parts. These were the original wheels that came with it. You know, one of my gripes is that the wheels themselves don't have hex nuts. They have like a little hex drive bit, so you gotta have a hex driver pop these off. No big deal if you got it with you. You know, you can pop them off. Hot swap wheels. They make red chrome, black chrome, regular chrome. So I mean, I wish that other companies made stuff for this, like aftermarket stuff. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it's above a toy grade car. But I guess a lot of people don't really take the 18 scale that seriously. I don't know. I've seen crawlers, buggies. Other companies like Dromeda has some, Arma, you know, they've got some 1/18 scales, and they're just like this. They basically follow the same suit. Traxxas basically makes like 4 cars, or 3. Yeah, 3. Sorry. And they literally use the same chassis. So there's a short course truck, which we have, and I'll do a video on that. And there's a monster truck. All 3 vehicles literally use the same exact chassis. Everything is exactly the same, except the arms are longer on the trucks. They have larger shocks, taller shock towers, and different body mounts, you know, to accommodate for whatever shell they're putting on there. But it literally is the same internals. So, you know, you can pretty much get that once you get one, you know the rest. You know, it's pretty straightforward. So this is the shell that we got for my son, and it was a clear shell. It's the exact same LaTrax shell. There it goes. We just painted it some metallic orange, and you know, he likes it. He's taken it out a couple times. He's kind of already cracked it a bit here, you know. But that's the thing, right? Like this, like $10 for a shell. That's, I mean, and it's Lexan, so it's not like, you know, not like we're paying a fortune to upkeep this. You know, Obviously, it would suck if everything broke. You'd have to replace everything or you just get a new one. But I paid about $109 on eBay for this car. You know, and obviously whatever the upgrades cost me, that was choice, except for the shock. But that's not a bad cost as far as I'm concerned for an RC car that is RC grade, because, you know, the screws are pretty cheap, so you got to be careful not to, you know, strip the screws. It's really easy to do. They're very soft screws, so be very careful when you're taking this car apart. You know, brace the parts when you're undoing them. I think I scraped one screw over here, but for the cost of an RC car, it's not bad. And like I said, you could race it inside, you could race it outside. You know, this is not really a rally car. It's called a rally, but it's not. It's more like a, you know, a touring car. It has all the characteristics of a touring car, and I have a couple, you know. So, you know, look at that low center of gravity chassis there. I mean, that's almost all the way to the ground. You know, you can take a couple little bumps, but pretty much this is for street racing or, you know, pavement, stuff like that. The other two are taller. The short course truck, you know, I actually bought another shell. This is the one I bought originally for it, because I thought I was going to use it, and he didn't want, because my son didn't really want anything to do with it at the time, you know. And I got some 1/10 scale stickers and just threw them on there, and it actually worked out pretty cool, you know. But you do it just like you do a regular, you know, RC car Lexan body. You paint it from the inside out, you know. So I did like a deep red with a metallic base, so it had some flake in it, you know. And the same thing with this. This is black on the inside, but it was a metallic base, orange. And then I I threw some silver in there to give it that sheen, and then the black to just, you know, cover it up. But I mean, it's such a cool little car that you can do so much to if you wanted to. Well, like I said, you can carbon fiber the entire frame and chassis. So that's really cool. I mean, you can do that with 1/10 scale, of course, no doubt, you know. But it's such a cool little package, you know, these little cars. So I definitely think it's worth it. I actually bought my buddy one of the Dromeda RCs, 1/18 scale, just so we could have something to tool around with in his basement and whatever. And I'll do a video on that eventually. It's kind of the same premise, same real basic chassis and everything like that, but I don't know if the quality is there, you know, and I don't know if Dromeda has the same support that Traxxas has for their stuff. And I mean, you know, anybody who knows RCs now knows that Traxxas is there. Traxxas is, they're pretty much everywhere you go, any shop. I can go in and, like, I've asked for stuff for my team associated RCT 10T, and they're like, well, maybe the Rustler stuff will fit. You know, there's Traxxas parts everywhere you go. So, you know, and on the internet, of course, you know, you can't find it in a store. You can find it on that there internet. You got a lot of stuff on that internet there. So, one complaint also, Traxxas, what the fuck, dude? Why would you give us a car charger? Like, what? That, so you actually can buy an adapter to make it a wall charger? I mean, if you don't have a RC, you know, if you don't have a nickel metal hydride battery charger or NiCad battery charger, if you don't have one, you'd have to get an adapter to use this. So whatever the cost of the car plus an adapter, that kind of bothers me. I'm like, you know, I get it, like, oh, you're out, you're playing with your car, you're outside, you probably got your car, it's probably better to charge it out in the car. Cool, I get it. But you should have just included that adapter. I mean, how much money are you really going to make? And it kind of turned people off on this, actually. A lot of people, I've heard comments and things like that, say, oh, I'm not going to get into that. That's stupid. You know, why would you do that? But for the most part, I have chargers, so it didn't bother me. You see, I didn't even take it out the package. It don't even matter to me. But that's what I think on the LaTrax Rally. I like it. It was worth the money. It's a fun little car. You know, I mean, if you like tinkering with RCs, it's cool. Everything's tiny. It's really, really cool. Pretty easy to work on. You know, so if you're interested, give it a shot. It's definitely a fun, for RC hobbyists, enthusiasts, whatever, it's definitely a fun thing to play with. You know, really cool little car. You know, if you're just getting started, it's a cool car too, because it gives you everything, it comes with everything you need, you know, to get rolling. You know, charge up the battery, get on, you know, the pavement and go. Well, with the exception of this, so I apologize for that. You got to get one of those. But out of the box, it'll go. So it's worth. I think it's worth it. But that's what I think. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.